Well, it's the middle of the week again, and I've got some stuff here that you might be interested in, so let's do What Did I Buy Wednesday? Welcome to the Model Room. First thing I want to show you is this. This is something called Absorbent Paper Points by JMU. And what they are little, very tight twists of paper. And I mean really tiny. Look at the point on that thing. These are actually intended to be used by dentists to do root canal work. Hence the opening AI art that I used of the dentist with the twist of paper. Sorry about that. In any case, these come in different sizes, and because they're absorbent, you can use them to help you clean your airbrush. Now, just to show, if we can even get this in here, here is the tip, the needle tip of my Iwata airbrush. Can you see how small that is? And here is this paper. It's going right through. It's cleaning it. I don't want to push this out of the tweezers, but that's a very small thing. And to get that paper in there and clean out the middle of that, make sure the paint is out, is a very good thing. A lot of times, you know, everyone's seen these things, these sort of brushes that you can use for your airbrush. They're not really designed for the tip of the needle. Here's another thing, and I do use this. I like it. This little needle cleaner. It's got a really sharp point on it, and these come in most of the airbrush cleaning kits. This point has kind of a flat surface on it as well. It will fit in that needle tip, but it's metal. It's going to scrape. Just having this little paper thing is something that is an extra measure of cleaning without damaging the tip. So for what it's worth, there it is. Okay, the next thing is this stuff. This is called Rub and Buff. It's a metallic finish for basically anything. I think maybe a lot of modelers do know about this. I did not. I happened to see my wife working on a craft project. She was putting this on some kind of ceramic thing. I said, "What's that?" And she says, "It's a Rub and Buff, and you can put it on with your finger. You can put it on with a cloth. I think it's best with a brush, and it is. They have a number of metallics. Now, Rub and Buff, they tend to have more golds. AK Interactive has this, and they're called True Metals, and they have a lot of silvers, like aluminum. They have dark aluminum, light aluminum, silver, all different ones. And then there are also some colors for this. I just happen to have the gold. It's called Autumn Gold. And let me just give you a look at it. Put it on very, very lightly. When you, take it out, you're just going to dab it. Look at this. Just get it's almost like dry brushing. Just get as little as possible on your brush. And in fact, here's a little test seat. You can, if you're going very lightly, you can dry brush it on so you can see, the color underneath. This just happens to be white. But, you can just do highlights and it'll show up pretty well. But if you want, then you can put it on thicker. You can basically completely paint. And then when it dries, you can give it a little buff. It's got a nice shine to it. I think the AK Interactive is made specifically for modelers, but I think it's probably the same as this. They call it wax paint. I'm not sure why. It cleans up with mineral spirits or whatever you use to clean enamel paint. So just a tip if you want some kind of a metallic color or look to your model. Let me also mention that this is not meant to be a substitute for chrome. These are metallics if you want to put them on an engine or a chassis or whatever, but they're really not like a chrome. This is the stuff now that everybody's talking about. I haven't gotten it because I like my engines to be more realistic. I think if you're putting a lot of chrome on a model, it should be a show car. I have a chrome pen, which does the job for the things that I need to chrome. Usually don't need it too much. But this stuff, I'm not doing a test on it because probably 100 other channels have been doing it. Looks great though. Goes on with a brush or an airbrush. It's durable, so you can handle it somewhat after you've let it dry off. And it gives a real good chrome shine. So that's something that you may want to look into. Next are these little metal grommets that I ordered on eBay. If you saw the last video that I did on the dune buggy, you'll recall that I didn't like the intake horns for the carburetors, the black ones that I painted up here, because they attach to the runner right at the end, the fluted end of the intake, and it's hard to sand that down and get a good shape on that end, and they kind of look misshapen. So I decided I would replace them with the white ones on here, which are from the AMT 53 Ford pickup, but they're not exactly the same. They're a little longer, they're a little narrower. So I thought, okay, I'm going to use these metal ones, which I think are really cool. They are already colored. These are bronze, and they've got the flute on the end. And I thought, oh, that's going to be great. They're going to go on there really well. Unfortunately, the ones that I got, if you look here, these are a little bit too big. I got the 3mm, and when you put them on that long air cleaner that goes on top of the carb, they run into each other, so they don't fit. I've now reordered another package in 2mm, which should fit. Probably should have measured more closely before I ordered these. These are like $4 for the whole package, so not a big deal. But you'll see this on the dune buggy when I get it finished, which is shortly. It's coming along. So, okay, while I'm making a mess of the bench, let me show you some more stuff. Frankie Frizzo is a good friend of mine. You know him from Frizzo's Model Cars. It's a great channel. I'm sure you're a subscriber. If you're not, go over there and subscribe because it's terrific. He does 3D printing, and we went to our club meeting yesterday, and he gave me all this stuff. And it's really great stuff. There's a whole, look at these little distributors. And that's enough to last me a long time, but they're just beautifully printed, and they're going to be very useful for me. Here's a bunch of Optima batteries. Look at that. Just nice and smooth, just ready to clip off, give it a little paint. It's even got the wires on it to the terminals. I love it. There's a bunch of other things in here. Here's a fire bottle, or is that a nitrous bottle? That could be. Just all kinds of things. There's a couple of steering wheels, and one of these is going to go onto the dune buggy. I'm going to use that. It's nice and light. It's very thin. Looks very in scale. So thanks, Frankie, for all this stuff. I'm going to get it sorted out and organized, and you're going to see it soon on the model. Okay, so I see one of the functions of What Did I Buy Wednesday as showing some things that you may not always think of, you may not have tried, or maybe there's a different way to do something. I think we all know about the idea of using a pencil to scratch in detail on a dashboard or whatever. This is unpainted, it's a silver pen. This is a Prismacolor pencil. I actually got the idea for Prismacolor from Joe over at the Model Building Corner channel. And I got a couple of these pencils. Didn't get a black one because I had a black one, and I thought, well, on a lighter colored dashboard or whatever, engine part, whatever, it'll be easy to scratch in the detail, just hit the highlights, and not get down on the body of the piece itself. However, this particular pencil, it's called a charcoal pencil. It's too hard. And it's very difficult to get it to hit just the highlights and come off and leave a mark on there. The ones from Prismacolor are a little better. I should have gotten a black one, and I didn't because I thought this would work. Doesn't work. So in thinking about this, I went to my wife and I said, do you have any kind of an eyeliner or something, that I could use that's soft? I was looking for like a soft lead pencil or something. And she said, sure. And she gave me this mascara pencil. And I thought, boy, this is going to be good. It's just what I want. If it draws, a line on someone's eyebrow or forehead, whatever, this should be good. Well, the other function of What Did I Buy Wednesday is to tell you what not to buy. And this is it. If you try and get marks on the dashboard and just hit the highlights, it just marks up everything. This thing, if you even get close to a piece of plastic or your finger or anything, it marks it up, and it's so hard to get off. So my advice is, if you're going to look for something soft to mark up your dashboard, your speedometer, whatever, don't go to the women's cosmetic area, because this stuff is really junk. Now, even though this is What Did I Buy Wednesday, I'm just mentioning this, but it's something that I didn't buy. It's by Display, and I like Display products. I use their markers all the time. And sometimes, though, there are some things that I think are not so useful for the price. Now, this thing does a lot. You can chamfer a plastic rod and put a point on it. You can cut a plastic rod in half lengthwise, or a square long plastic rod. You can cut it in half and make two triangle pieces out of it. And it does other stuff. You can look at it online. If you want to join two pieces of sheet plastic at 90 degrees, this is an aid to that. A lot of things, and it's a clever device, but a lot of the things are not things that we use as modelers, and this thing costs 60 bucks. Who knows, maybe the price will come down in the future. I looked at it. I have two miter boxes that I don't need. I very seldom want to make a point on my plastic rod, and if I do, then I'll chuck it up in the Dremel and use an X-Acto knife or something, or just sand it. I don't know. It just didn't quite make the jump to usefulness for the price for me. You may have a different idea. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. I haven't seen any tests of it, but this is something that I just recently saw, was very intrigued with until I saw what they were charging for it. So, for what it's worth, that's my opinion. And finally, I don't do stash ads as such because, for one thing, I'm not adding to my stash. I'm 74 years old. I'm actually divesting instead of adding. I have certainly more models than I'll ever build in my lifetime. But sometimes there are some things that you want to get. So, contrary to my normal ideas here on the channel, I did buy this model, obviously the 22 Corvette Stingray. Great model, actually, and I would like to build it if I didn't have 21 other projects going. I only mention this not because I want to tell you about what I added to the stash, but only because it's going to come up in a future video, because I'm going to use parts from this in kind of a special build that I'm going to do. That's coming up shortly. So I bought it and just thought I'd show you. It says 40 bucks. I got it at Hobby Lobby on a discount. What's interesting about this, and many of you may know this has a 20-page instruction book. And I like this new trend where they put the factory colors in the instruction book. This is a color instruction book. Here are the factory colors, so that's really pretty good. And I just thought that I would mention it. The other thing, though, was that when I was looking at this, I saw these seats. They're two-piece, and I glued them together. These are the Corvette seats. I like these seats. I think they're really neat, and I think they would go really cool in the dune buggy. Since I'm not building a Corvette anyway, these seats are going to go in the dune buggy. I'll put the insert in the middle, the blue Hawaiian thing, and paint the outside black. So just saying that that's what I'm going to do. Stay tuned for that other video, because there'll be some news with that. But for now, that's it for What Did I Buy Wednesday. Thanks for watching. Thank you to all my subscribers. I keep seeing that total go up, and I really very much appreciate it. So we'll see you next time.